I love the aroma that the leaf, the halsin hannu or the jackfruit leaf imbues to that Kadubu. The aroma of that coconut oil. And this isn't a typical idli because I can see ಮೆಣಸಿನಕಾಯಿ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಶಃ. I think on the outside the bun has a nice whisper of a crunch. Perhaps on the inside it could be a little more airy, a little more fluffy, which is a character that you look for in a bun. Hi folks, this is Kripal Amanna, Gourmet on the Road, and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe and strong. Well, it's been a while since I've said this because, to be honest, I've not been shooting too much here in Namma, Bengaluru. For those of you who follow us on Food Lovers TV, you know that even as I film this, we are currently in the midst of our Old Delhi food series. I hope you've been catching some of those episodes. And very shortly, we're going to release the Vietnam vlogs on the Kripal Amanna vlog channel. So I haven't been filming too much here in Namma, Bengaluru, which also means I've been missing some of my favorite foods out here. Notably the idli. So this evening I've set out to pander to my craving for an idli. I'm going to be tasting not really an idli but a kotte Kadubu, which is a variation on an idli. And I'm going to be tasting this at an eatery that I filmed an episode about 2 years ago. The eatery is called Jagli Tindi and they have recently, a few months ago, relocated to a new place. So I've had it in my mind for the longest time to revisit them, take a look at what's happening, just casually, not film a complete episode, and also taste the kotte Kadubu. So this evening we're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to check out the new location of Jagli Tindi and also pander to my craving for an idli. Namaskara, how are you? So for the longest time, I haven't tasted an idli.
Oh, okay.
Because I was traveling. Currently even I have my Delhi series running.
Yes.
Then I was in Vietnam. So I haven't had an idli in a long time. So I said I must satisfy my craving for an idli. That's why I've come here today.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Hello, how are you doing? So new location. This is what JP Nagar.
This is JP Nagar, correct. Extended menus with idli. We have 5 types of idlis now. We have kotte Kadubu. We do a masala Kadubu now with the tumbler one.
With a tumbler.
Kotte Kadubu is there. Masala Kadubu is there. Coco shell idli. Tenginkai simple idli ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಈಗ.
Okay, nice.
Normal idlis and rava idli. But we have started patrodes now.
I can see patrode there.
Yeah, patrode is there.
There
is ragi halbai. Buns is there. Heat buns and khara buns. Khara buns you won't get anywhere.
But I'm here today to taste the
Kotte Kadubu.
Kotte Kadubu.
Yes.
Okay, so the kotte Kadubu now has company.
Yeah, it's a coco shell idli.
But this is a normal idli.
No, the batter is different. For this, the consistency of the batter is different.
So this is more rice than that.
Yeah.
So that must be what, a 2:1?
2:1.
Okay.
And this is 2:1, but we make the batter a bit thinner.
Runnier.
Yes.
This of course is your
Jagli masala.
Jagli masala dosa.
Yes.
With plenty of tuppa, onions,
Yes.
and the secret podi. Wonderful.
There is no secret when we talk. You've already revealed it.
So what's happening? Khara Bun.
Yeah, this is Khara Bun, the Khara version of Mangalore buns.
So it is the same. It is fermented.
Fermented with banana, curds, maida, and
Jirige and all of that.
Yes. But a pinch of coriander leaves and a
Green
bit
chilies.
of green chilies and curry leaves.
And curry leaves. So this is the couple behind Jagli Tindi. Raksha, who's an engineer, and Suhas, who's an MBA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
You must take a look at the previous Jagli Tindi episode. Although the location has changed, but I'm sure fundamentally the product remains the same.
Yes.
Upgraded version of Jagli Tindi.
Upgraded version of
Upgrade.
Jagli Tindi. So I met you about 2 years ago at the previous. You had just moved into that location then,
Yes.
and you had begun 2 years before that.
Exactly.
So it's about 4 years now.
Yeah.
I seem to meet them only when they move to a new location. Good to see your spirit still very high.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, now we need to do the
Eating party.
eating. Namaskara.
Namaskar. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hegidira?
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite surprised to see you here.
Thank you. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಕೊಡಿ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಡುಬು ಕೊಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ಬನ್ ಸ್ಪೈಸಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಕೋಕೋ ಶೆಲ್ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಒಂದು ಹಲ್ವಾಯಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾಫಿ ಕೊಡಿ.
Oh, kripal, amanna.
ಹೌ ಆರ್ ಯು ಸರ್?
My son is in US. He sees your episode
ಹಾಂ
twice or thrice almost because he enjoys.
ಯಾ
As if he is eating.
ಸೊ
He's in US.
ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ US.
When you eat, he enjoys.
Thank you very much. What's his name?
Arun.
Arun. Convey my best wishes to him.
Sure.
What is this?
This is coconut oil
Coconut oil.
for coco shell idli.
Because I'm tasting the idli after a very long time, so I've got one is the coconut shell idli which he has just slathered with some coconut oil there. And then of course I'm meeting my very old friend the kotte Kadubu. Well, we're going to make a beginning here with that coconut shell idli. The idli is soft and rather pasty. The aroma of that coconut oil. And this isn't a typical idli because I can see ಮೆಣಸಿನಕಾಯಿ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಶಃ.
Chilies there. Chilies
Ah,
we have sabzige soppu.
correct. The dill is also there.
Yes, yes.
So this isn't your typical idli. This is an idli that also is embedded with a few things. So I'm told there's some green chilies in it. I can also see a strand of a sabzige soppu, the dill. Lovely. So the flavor that I'm tasting here is more from the coconut oil that you have
Yes, yes.
poured over.
Poured over.
The coconut shell,
It is a bit of that taste also you'll be getting in the end.
towards the end perhaps.
Towards the end.
But right now I'm tasting more the...
More the spices and aroma.
I can definitely feel a bit of that green chili punch. I think next we're going to introduce that coco shell idli to some chutney there. That chutney delivers a sucker punch with the mint and the green chili. If you like things spicy, well, that's certainly a chutney that will steal your heart. I quite like the freshness of the mint that I get in that chutney. So the coconut shell, I don't think adds much to the idli as does the coconut oil and the herbs that are infused into that idli. There is a certain aroma that you taste, that aroma of fermentation. I think next go for some of that idli with the sambar. This is a typical South Canara sambar. You can taste the jaggery, a bit of the sweet tartness that comes from tomato. Also the hingu, the asafoetida. It's a sambar that is light, not too rich with the lentils, which I think does well to soak into that coco shell idli. Well, time to say hello to that kotte Kadubu now. Remove some of those twigs that are holding the jackfruit leaves and open that kotte Kadubu gently, almost like a flower. I love the aroma that the leaf, the halsin hannu or the jackfruit leaf imbues to that Kadubu. So typically the difference between an idli and a kotte Kadubu is in the batter. In the kotte Kadubu batter there's more of the uddina bele that goes into it as opposed to a typical idli, and that's what also contributes to its soft, slightly pasty sort of a texture. And the leaves imbue that kotte Kadubu with a very distinct sort of an aroma. There's a hint of tartness that I'm tasting from the fermentation of that kotte Kadubu. You know, it's been weeks since I've tasted an idli and I've been yearning to taste one. And here I have two very fine specimens from the idli family. That coco shell idli, although slightly spicy with the green chili and the dill. And then of course a very traditional South Canara classic in that kotte Kadubu. That's a chutney that's rich in the kai. I love the fragrant aroma and flavors of the mint and also the heat of the green chili. I think the last time around I also tasted a sagu and a kempu chutney, no?
Kem chutney, yeah. Kem chutney we're not making.
Not making.
Because we are making sambar now.
There's no sagu.
No sagu.
So I was looking at this and I said something is missing from the last time that I tasted this. But that chutney has got a super kick. The sweet fleshiness of the coconut, the fragrant hit of the mint.
A bit of jaggery to it.
A bit of jaggery as well.
Jaggery and jeera.
And jeera. The Khara Buns.
Yes.
I've never tasted this. So this is a variation on the Mangalore buns.
Mangalore buns variation.
I'm quite curious to know what this will taste like because it's got all the things that go into the Mangalore buns, but with some spiciness added too. Fantastic. What's interesting is that the buns is speckled with all sorts of green. There's a bit of residue of the oil on the fingers. I'm getting a whiff of that banana, cumin somewhere there, but then I'm getting a lot of the green chili heat. You know, to a typical South Canara boy, buns is always a very sweet thing. So my mind is still trying to decipher the flavors that I'm tasting at this point. I think on the outside the bun has a nice whisper of a crunch. Perhaps on the inside it could be a little more airy, a little more fluffy, which is a character that you look for in a bun. But the flavor, the spicy flavor is quite interesting. And to add a little more spiciness to the bun, well, you got some of that green chutney. So I think if you like things spicy,
Yes.
this is a bun that you could try, right?
Absolutely. That is why I told you, when you eat it, you have a burst of spice. Spiciness inside.
How long do you ferment this?
We fermented for almost around 6 hours.
Okay. But I think maybe currently in the cold weather,
It
takes time.
Yes.
So I find that on the inside the fermentation should be a little...
Yes. Fermentation ಯಾಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮೆಣಸಿನಕಾಯಿ ಸ್ಪೈಸಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ
Yeah.
mellow down.
Andre, as a Mangalorean, I'm expecting, I have a certain clear picture in my mind of a bun.
Oh.
So when you say spicy bun, I want the same texture,
Yes.
but perhaps to taste a bit spice. But now here, because of the spice, the texture on the inside is not like a typical Mangalore bun, right?
Exactly.
Andre, the GSB ನಲ್ಲಿ they make the thick roti, right? Like a hard...
Exactly. Thick roti ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Yeah, so this to me is a thick roti flavor,
Yeah.
but in the body of a bun.
Bun, exactly.
So I don't know if to my South Canara heart, it is a complete winner, but I must...
It's not a complete winner, but Bengaluru crowd this is the...
Yeah.
This is one of the winners in the Bangalore.
Fantastic. So I guess, yes, so I think it's also about doing something new and keeping aside expectations that you may have in your mind about something that you've tasted. So when an eatery is trying to do something different, I guess you also have to park that notion aside. But I must tell you, it's easier said than done because my Bangalorean mind still wants that texture that I expect in that Bengaluru bun. Well, to close things after the spicy version of the Mangalore buns, we have the ragi Halbai. This is a speciality of Jagli Tindi. I didn't taste it the last time on camera, but I did return and taste some. And today we're going to taste it on camera.
You can just gulp it. Just swallow it.
I think just place it in your mouth. What you taste first is the lushness of that tuppa. And then the grainy texture of that ragi halu.
Yes.
And the earthy sweetness that comes from jaggery. And I think the hero in this is a tuppa.
Always.
And I think also just before serving you add some more tuppa.
A bit of.
And that's the ingredient that elevates what is otherwise a humble farmer staple that you would typically taste in the ragi mudde, but here you're tasting it in the form of this very seductive wobbly dessert that they call the ragi halbai. Very good. Still good. I remember the last time even, I loved the roast of this coffee. It's got a very caramel sort of a flavor note. And this is also like a deep roast,
Yeah.
a dark roast. Very nice. What is the chicory blend in this? 20, 30?
No, 80-20.
80-20.
But we use only Arabica seeds, no Robusta.
No Robusta, only Arabica.
Only Arabica. Fine quality, AA.
Fantastic. Very good coffee. Well, that was a short and sweet episode here at Jagli Tindi. I definitely quelled my idli craving. And if you want to taste something interesting, especially that kotte Kadubu and that coco shell idli, definitely find your way here. And don't leave without tasting some of the other dishes that they do too, which I've tasted in the previous video. You'll find a link in the description below. And don't leave without tasting that seductive, gently sweet on your palate Halbai. I hope you've enjoyed this short and sweet vlog. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay strong, happy eating and drinking. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on a Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!